Sister told my fiancé I cheated to break us up. He checked her texts and blocked her completely. I heard my sister say my name the way people say fire. Sharp, urgent, like she was saving someone. And then my fiancé's face changed in real time as he stared down at his phone. We were standing in his kitchen, still in work clothes, the overhead light too bright, the air smelling like garlic because he just started chopping dinner. I've been teasing him about how he holds a knife like it's a delicate instrument. Then his screen lit up again, and he went quiet, like someone had reached inside him and turned the volume down. My stomach dropped before he even looked up. I could feel in my teeth that cold, metallic dread. "What?" I said, already stepping closer. "What is it?" He didn't answer at first. He just held the phone tighter, knuckles whitening, eyes scanning like he was trying to translate a language he didn't believe existed. Then he looked at me, really looked like he was searching my face for something, and my sister's voice came through from the speaker, tinny and dramatic. "I didn't want to tell you because I love her, but you deserve to know. She cheated. I have proof. Please don't let her lie to you." I made this sound that wasn't words, like my body couldn't decide between laughing and vomiting. "That's not." I started, and the panic made my tongue clumsy. "Ethan, that's not true. She's lying." My hand was shaking so hard I had to grip the edge of the counter. The chopped garlic sat in a neat little pile, like nothing was happening. His cutting board had one onion half on it, still shiny wet. My brain kept noticing stupid details because the bigger thing felt too huge to hold. It was a Tuesday night when the first crack appeared, which sounds dramatic, but it was one of those normal Tuesdays where you don't expect your life to split open. Ethan and I had been engaged for 4 months. Not even the new engagement sparkle where people keep grabbing your hand to see the ring. More like the steady planning stage where you're arguing about seating charts and whether you really need a videographer. We were tired in that good way, the way you get when you're building something together. And my sister, Jade, had been weird since the proposal. Not openly cruel, not enough that you could point and say, "See, she's sabotaging me." Just little things, little needles. Jade is 2 years older than me, which in our family somehow translated into she's allowed to comment on your life like she's your manager. Growing up, she was the one teachers loved. Loud confidence, perfect smile, always helping in a way that made you look incompetent next to her. If I got attention, Jade found a way to redirect it. If I did well, she did better, or at least made sure everyone knew she could have if she tried. As adults, we got along on paper. We did birthdays. We took photos. We tag each other in things. But there was always that undercurrent, that feeling that she was grading me. When Ethan proposed, it wasn't some flashy public stunt. It was at the little lookout we go to sometimes after work when we want to sit in the car and talk about nothing. He had my favorite cheap chocolate in the glove box, and he was shaking so much he dropped the ring box once and muttered, "Oh my God," like he was embarrassed by his own nerves. It was perfect. I cried in this ugly, hiccupy way, and he laughed and wiped my face with his thumb and kept saying, "Are you sure?" like he was the one being asked. Jade's reaction was instant brightness. "Oh my God," she screamed when I told her, and she did the dramatic hug and the whole, "I'm so happy for you" performance. Then she pulled back, held my hand up, squinted at the ring, and said, "It's sweet. Not mean, just sweet." Like a teacher looking at a child's drawing. After that, she started doing this thing where she'd check in on Ethan. She'd text him directly, not in the group chat. At first I thought it was harmless. She's my sister. She wants to be close. She's excited. Ethan even mentioned it once in passing, like, "Jade asked if you'd like peonies or roses," and I said, "Oh, cute," and didn't think about it again. Why would I? You're not supposed to suspect your own sister of trying to poison your relationship. That feels paranoid. That feels like you're the problem. But then Jade started dropping comments like, "I hope you know what you're getting into," and "marriage is hard, babe," in this tone like she had some secret wisdom I didn't. She'd ask Ethan questions at family dinners like, "So are you ready for a lifetime of, and gesture at me with a laugh like I was a handful, like I was high maintenance. He'd smile politely, because Ethan is polite to a fault. He grew up in a family where you don't confront people, you just set boundaries quietly and move on. I'd roll my eyes at him later, and he'd shrug and say, she's just joking. Then the engagement party happened. Small, backyard, fairy lights, my mom's potato salad, my dad trying too hard to look relaxed while he hovered near the barbecue like it was his stage. Jade showed up in a tight satin dress that looked like it belonged at a nightclub, not my parents' lawn. She brought this huge bouquet for the bride-to-be and made sure everyone saw her hand it to me. She posted a story of me, smiling with the caption, "My baby sis is finally growing up, even though I'm 28 and have a mortgage." Halfway through the night, I went inside to grab more ice, and I heard Jade in the laundry room on the phone, laughing in that low, intimate way she laughs when she thinks she's winning. "No, I swear," she said. "He's obsessed with her. Like, it's kind of pathetic." I froze, ice scoop in my hand, heart thumping. I couldn't hear the other side of the call, just her voice. "Yeah, I know," she said. "I'm handling it." Then she noticed me, and her face changed instantly into innocence. "Hey, babe," she chirped. "Need help?" I should have confronted her then. I didn't. I told myself I misheard. I told myself I was being sensitive. I told myself I didn't want to ruin my engagement party by picking a fight with my sister in my parents' house like we were teenagers again. So Tuesday night, when Ethan's phone lit up and Jade's voice accused me of cheating, it felt like all those tiny needles suddenly converged into one sharp stab. Ethan turned the volume down and stared at me, jaw tight. "She says he started, then stopped like he hated the words in his mouth. "She says you slept with someone from your office." I actually laughed, a short, disbelieving sound that came out wrong. "What?" I said. "Who? When?" My brain was racing through every day of the last year, like a frantic calendar flip. "Ethan, I go to work and come home and rot on the couch with you watching those stupid renovation shows. I don't even have the energy to cheat if I wanted to." He didn't smile. His eyes were glossy in a way that made my chest ache. Not because he believed her, but because it hurt him to hear it at all. "She says she has screenshots," he said quietly. "I don't even know what screenshots she could have," I said, and my voice rose despite my best effort to keep it steady. "This is insane. She's lying. She's trying to—" I stopped because the thought felt too ugly to say out loud. "She's trying to break us up." That sounds like something you'd say about an ex, not your sister. Ethan's phone buzzed again. A message preview flashed on the screen. "Jade, please call me. I'm scared you'll hate me, but you deserve better." I felt something hot surge up my throat. "Oh my God," I whispered. "She's doing the martyr thing." Ethan looked down at the phone again, then back at me. His voice was tight. "Why would she lie about this?" he asked, and it wasn't accusatory. It sounded genuinely confused. Like he couldn't map this onto the version of Jade he knew, the bubbly sister who hugged him and asked about his day. I swallowed hard. "Because she doesn't like that you're mine," I said, and the words tasted bitter. "Because she wants to be the one who's winning." He flinched at that. I know." I cut in quickly. "I know it sounds gross and childish, but she's been weird since we got engaged. She texts you privately. She makes little jokes. My hands were shaking. I pressed my palms to the counter, felt the cool stone under my skin. "Ethan, I didn't cheat. I swear on everything. I didn't." He stared at me for a long second, then did something that made my knees almost buckle with relief. He stepped forward and put his hands on my shoulders, gently, grounding me. "I don't think you did," he said. His voice cracked slightly on the last word, like he hated that he even had to reassure me. I blinked fast because my eyes burned. "Then what is this?" I whispered. Ethan exhaled slowly. "Okay," he said, more to himself than to me. "Okay, if she has screenshots, we'll see them. We'll figure out what she's talking about." I felt my stomach twist. "She's going to send something fake," I said. "Maybe," he said. "Then we'll look at it, and we'll look at everything else." He picked up his phone, tapped a few times, and said, "I'm calling her." Put on speaker. My heart started pounding so hard I could hear it in my ears. When Jade answered, she put on that trembling voice immediately, like she'd been practicing. "Ethan," she whispered. "Oh my God. Thank you for calling." I didn't know what to do. "I am shaking." I clenched my jaw so hard it hurt. Ethan's tone was calm but firm. "Jade, you said she cheated. What exactly are you claiming?" There was a pause, and I could almost hear her arranging her story like she was sorting clothes. I found out because someone told me. she said, which was already vague enough to be a lie. And then I saw messages, and I didn't want to believe it, but... Who? Ethan said, sharper. Who told you? Someone from her work, Jade said quickly. I don't want to drag them into this. But they felt guilty. I felt my hands curl into fists. That's not true, I blurted, and then immediately regretted speaking because Jade's voice changed, bright, triumphant. Oh, she said, you're there. Ethan didn't let her pivot. Jade, he said, send me what you have. Now, not later. Now. Jade did that wounded laugh. Okay, she whispered. Okay, I just didn't want her to manipulate you. She's good at that. She said it like she was talking about a villain. Then my phone buzzed. Not Ethan's. Mine. A text from Jade. A screenshot. My name at the top of a chat bubble. A message that said, last night was a mistake, but I can't stop thinking about you. My skin went cold. Because it looked like me. My name, my contact photo, even the way the bubbles were shaped. For half a second, my brain tried to interpret it as reality. Like, did I send this in my sleep? Is this some weird alternate timeline? Then logic snapped back. The timestamp was wrong. The font looked slightly off. And the contact name wasn't how I name people. I don't call anyone Ryan Briefcase, like the screenshot showed. I don't use emojis in contact names. It was like she tried to imitate me based on someone else's phone habits. Ethan received it too. I watched his eyes flick over it, then flick back to me. He didn't react the way Jade wanted. He didn't recoil. He didn't explode. He just stared at the screenshot like he was studying a counterfeit bill. This is what you have? He asked Jade. Yes, Jade said, voice trembling harder. There's more. I am scarred. I don't want her to hate me, but I can't let you marry someone who... Ethan cut her off again. Jade, he said slowly, why is this screenshot sent from her phone to you? If she cheated, why are you the one she's texting about it? Silence. Jade made a small choking noise like she was about to cry. Because she confided in me, she said too fast. I felt my stomach flip. I have never confided in you, I said out loud, voice shaking with anger now. I don't even tell you when I get a haircut without you making a comment. Ethan put a hand up slightly, calming, then said, Jade, I need you to answer questions without theatrics. This screenshot doesn't make sense. Also, he paused, then his tone shifted into something colder. I have the chat metadata. Jade's voice went tight. What does that mean? It means screenshots are easy to fake, Ethan said, but actual conversations aren't. He took a breath. I'm going to ask you one more time. Who is the person she supposedly cheated with? Jade hesitated. Ryan, she said finally. Ethan's eyebrows lifted slightly, and I recognize that look because he does it when something clicks into place. Ryan from her office? Yes, Jade said, relief creeping in her voice like she thought she'd finally landed the story. He's married, Ethan. It's disgusting. My hand was shaking so badly, I had to sit down. Ryan is 62, I said, stunned laughing again. Ryan is my manager's manager. Ryan has 3 kids and talks about golf. Ryan calls me kiddo. Ethan stared at the phone. Okay, he said quietly. Okay. Jade sensed the shift and tried to regain control. Ethan, please, she said, voice going syrupy. Don't let her confuse you. That's how she is. She. Stop, Ethan said, and the single word landed like a door slamming. I'm done. Jade went silent. Ethan's voice was steady now, almost calm in a way that scared me more than anger would have. I'm going to be very clear, he said. This is fake, and I don't know why you did it, but I'm going to find out. You're choosing her, Jade whispered, and the victim voice was back. After I tried to protect you. Ethan didn't even flinch. I'm choosing reality, he said, and I'm choosing the person I'm marrying. Then he added, don't contact me again. I heard Jade inhale sharply. Ethan. He hung up. For a moment, the kitchen was silent except for the AC hum and the faint sizzle of the pan he'd left on low heat. My whole body felt like it was vibrating. Ethan set his phone down very carefully, like he didn't trust his hands not to throw it. I whispered, what do you mean you're going to find out? Ethan exhaled. Jade has been texting me for months, he said. His eyes were on the countertop, not on me, and his voice sounded strained like he'd been holding something in and it was finally spilling out. Not just wedding stuff. She asks weird questions. About you. About our relationship. She asked me last week if I ever feel trapped. He swallowed. I thought she was being protective. Or nosy. I didn't think. He shook his head. My chest tightened. You didn't tell me, I said softly. I didn't want to start something, he said, and there was shame in his voice. I didn't want to make you feel like your sister was like that. He finally looked up at me. But tonight, he gestured at the air like he couldn't believe it. Tonight is not just nosy. He picked up his phone, scrolled, and turned it toward me. My stomach dropped as I saw it. Long threads of messages from Jade. Not just how's wedding planning. There were compliments about Ethan's looks. Little heart emojis. Late night, are you up? Texts. A message from 2 weeks ago that said, if you ever need someone who really understands you, I'm here. I felt nauseous. Oh my God, I whispered. Ethan's jaw clenched. And now, he said, voice tight, this cheating thing comes out of nowhere, right after I didn't respond to her last message. I stared at the screen, my brain struggling to keep up. It wasn't just sabotage. It was personal. It was her trying to pry open a door. Ethan kept scrolling and then paused on a message that made my blood run cold. Jade had texted him a week ago. Sometimes I worry she'll leave you. She gets bored. She's always been like that. Another. If you ever have doubts, don't ignore them. People show you who they are. And then, in a message from tonight before the cheating call, I can't watch you marry her. Not when I know the truth. He looked at me with this pained, exhausted expression. She's building a story, he said quietly. One where you're the villain and she's the savior. My throat burned. I feel like I'm going to throw up, I admitted. Ethan nodded like he felt the same. I'm going to do something, he said, and his voice went firm again. He stood up, grabbed his keys from the bowl by the door. I'm going to her place. My eyes widened. Now? Yes, he said, because she's going to spin this to your parents immediately. And I need evidence. Real evidence. I stared at him. What evidence? Ethan's mouth tightened. Her texts, he said. I'm going to ask her to show me the proof in person. If she has nothing, she'll scramble. If she has something fake, I want to see how she got it. And I want to see what else she's been doing. He paused, and I want her to say it to my face. Not hide behind phone calls. My hands were trembling as I grabbed my own keys. I'm coming, I said. Ethan hesitated, then nodded. Okay, he said, but we stay calm, no matter what she does. We drove to Jade's apartment in this tense, silent bubble. The city lights blurred past. My brain kept replaying her voice. She cheated. I have proof. Every time I picture my parents hearing that, I felt this spike of panic. Because my parents love Jade's version of events. It's always tidy. It always makes her the responsible one. Jade opened her door like she'd been waiting behind it. She had mascara smudged under her eyes, like she'd rubbed them on purpose. She was wearing a robe, hair pulled into a messy bun, the image of distress. I recognized it immediately, the costume of innocence. Oh my God, she whispered when she saw Ethan. Ethan, thank you. I was so scared. Ethan didn't step inside. Show me the proof, he said. Jade's eyes flicked to me, behind him, and narrowed. She's here, she snapped. And there it was. The real Jade breaking through the performance. Ethan's voice stayed even. Yes, show me. Jade swallowed, then pasted the tears back on. I have screenshots, she whispered. On your phone, Ethan asked. She nodded. Then show me, he said. Jade hesitated. I don't want her to see, she said quickly. She'll just deny it. She'll twist it. Ethan held out his hand. Give me your phone. Jade stared at him like he'd asked for her kidney. Why? Because I don't trust screenshots, Ethan said. And because you've been texting me things that make me uncomfortable. His voice sharpened slightly. Give me your phone. Jade's face tightened. So you're accusing me now? Ethan didn't blink. Give me your phone, he repeated. Jade's eyes darted to me. For a second, she looked almost panicked. Then she scoffed, rolled her eyes dramatically, and shoved her phone into Ethan's hand like she was doing him a favor. Fine, she said. Go ahead. Dig through it. See what kind of sister you're marrying into. Ethan unlocked it, not because he knew her passcode, but because she'd already unlocked it when she grabbed it. He scrolled quickly, eyes focused. I watched his face change, not into anger, but into this grim certainty. He turned the phone toward me for a split second. It was a group chat with a contact named Maddie Nail Polish, Jade's best friend. The chat was a waterfall of messages from Jade, and there it was, sitting like a smoking gun. I'm going to tell him she cheated. He'll freak out. He'll dump her. Watch. Another. If he doesn't leave, I'll send the screenshot. I made it look real. Another. She doesn't deserve him. Ido. My vision blurred. The room felt like it tilted. I grabbed the door frame to steady myself. Ethan's voice was low. This is what you meant, he said to Jade, holding the phone up slightly by proof. Jade's face went white, then flushed. That's... She started, and then she changed tactics instantly, like flipping channels. It was a joke, she snapped. Maddie and I joke like that. Ethan scrolled again. And this? He asked, voice colder. He showed her another message. I'll say she begged me not to tell. That'll make me look like the hero. Jade's mouth opened, then closed. Her eyes flicked to me, and there was naked hatred there, no softness left. You always ruin everything, she hissed at me, and the words felt like childhood. Ethan straightened, still holding her phone. I'm done, he said. Do not contact me again. Do not contact her. Do not come to our wedding. Do not show up at my home. Nothing. He took a breath, then added, I'm taking screenshots of this for our protection. Jade's eyes widened. You can't. Give me my phone. Ethan calmly took photos of the screen with his own phone. Clear, time-stamped, undeniable. Jade lunged forward, and Ethan stepped back, keeping space. Ethan, she shrieked. You can't do this to me. I'm not doing anything to you, he said evenly. You did it to yourself. Jade's face crumpled, not with guilt, but with rage. She doesn't even love you the way I would, she screamed, and the sentence hung in the air like something rotten. My stomach flipped. My voice came out small. Jade, I whispered, what is wrong with you? She snapped her head toward me. Don't, she spit. Don't act like you're innocent. You've always taken things from me. Istir de here, stunned. Taken what? I asked. Ethan isn't a trophy. Jade laughed, sharp and bitter. Of course you'd say that, she said. You always get to be the nice one. The easy one. Mom and Dad always talk about how you're low maintenance like it's a compliment. Do you know how exhausting it is being the one who has to be impressive all the time? Ethan handed her phone back like it burned. This is over, he said. Jade clutched it to her chest and glared at him. If you block me, I'll tell Mom and Dad everything, she snarled. Ethan's voice didn't change. Tell them, he said. We have receipts. That's when I realized something. Ethan wasn't just offending me. He was cutting off her ability to rewrite reality. And that was what she relied on. We left. Jade stood in her doorway, watching us like a storm trapped in human skin. As soon as we got to the car, my phone buzzed, Mom calling. I stared at the screen, heart pounding. She already called them, I whispered. Ethan took my phone gently. We called them together, he said. On speaker. Come. When Mom answered, her voice was tight with emotion. What's going on? She demanded. Jade is beside herself. She says she stopped like she couldn't bring herself to say the accusation, but it was hanging there anyway. Ethan spoke first. Hi, Linda, he said, respectful but firm. Yada elite. We have proof she lied. She fabricated screenshots. We saw her messages admitting it. Silence. Then Dad's voice came in the background, suspicious. What do you mean, fabricated? Ethan explained, calmly, and then he said, I can send you screenshots of Jade's messages right now. Not my interpretation. Her own words. Mom made a noise like she didn't want to hear it. Why would she do that? She whispered. I squeezed my eyes shut. Because she wanted to break us up, I said, voice shaking. And because she's been texting Ethan inappropriate things for months. That landed. I heard Dad swear under his breath. Mom started crying softly. No, she whispered. No, Jade wouldn't. Ethan's tone stayed steady. She did, he said. And for our safety and sanity, I'm blocking her. I'm asking you both to respect that. Do not pass messages. Do not pressure us to reconcile right now. We need space. There was a long pause. And then Mom's voice came out small. "Send me the screenshots," she said. Ethan did, right there in the car. I watched him attach them and hit send, like he was sealing something closed. By the time we got home, my phone was a mess of notifications. Jade had posted a vague Instagram story about betrayal and people choosing toxic partners over family. Her friends were commenting hearts. One of our cousins texted me what happened, like it was entertainment. Ethan sat beside me on the couch and took my hand. His thumb rubbed circles over my knuckles because he could feel me shaking even when I tried to hide it. "I'm blocking her," he said softly. My throat tightened. "She's my sister," I whispered, and it sounded like grief more than defense. "I know," he said, "but she's not safe." He opened his phone, went to Jade's contact, and blocked her. No dramatic speech. No announcement. Just a clean cut. Then he blocked her on every app. He blocked her email. He blocked her number. He even turned off unknown callers for a while because he knew she'd try from different numbers. The next day, my parents came over. Mom looked like she hadn't slept. Dad looked furious in that contained way he gets when he's trying not to explode. Mom sat at our kitchen table and clutched a tissue like it was an anchor. "I don't understand," she kept saying. "I don't understand." Dad didn't mince words. "She's unwell," he said bluntly. "Or she's jealous. Or both. But what she did is sick." Mom flinched like he'd hit her. "She's my daughter," she whispered. "And so is she," Dad said, nodding toward me, and that almost made me cry because Dad doesn't usually pick sides out loud. Mom looked at me, eyes red. "Did you know she was like this?" she asked. I swallowed. "I knew she was cruel to me," I said quietly. "I didn't know she'd do this. But I'm not surprised, Mom. I'm just tired." Mom's face crumpled, and she started crying properly, then, the kind where she tries to hold it in, but it keeps spilling. "I didn't raise her to be this way," she sobbed. I stared at the garlic bowl on the counter and thought about last night's kitchen, the moment my world lurched. "You didn't stop it either," I said, and my voice shook, but I didn't take it back. "You always brushed off her jokes. You always told me to ignore it. You always said I was fine." Mom's crying got quieter, more ashamed. Dad rubbed his forehead like he had a headache. "We'll handle Jade," he said finally, voice tight. "We'll get her help. But you too." He looked at Ethan. "You did the right thing." Ethan nodded. "We're not trying to destroy the family," he said. "We're trying to protect our marriage before it even starts." After they left, I sat on the bathroom floor and cried in a way that felt primal, like my body was releasing years of swallowing things. Ethan sat outside the door and talked to me softly about nothing, about how the onion was still in the fridge, about how he could order food, about how he'd take care of it. I didn't want solutions. I just wanted the world to stop shaking. Jade tried a few more times after that. She emailed Ethan from a new address with the subject line, "Please read," and the body was 5 paragraphs of blame dressed up as apology. She messaged me from a burner account saying, "Hope he's worth losing your family." She texted my mom pretending to be me. Mom showed me the screenshot, hands trembling, and said, "Tell Ethan I'm sorry, I lied," which was terrifying because it meant she still thought she could control the narrative by ventriloquizing me. Ethan stayed consistent. Block. Ignore. Document. He didn't engage, and that drove Jade insane because engagement is oxygen to people like her. The strangest part, honestly, wasn't the cheating lie. It was the grief afterward. Because I didn't just lose a sister I loved. I lost the sister I kept hoping she could be. I lost the fantasy that one day she'd look at me without measuring herself against me. I lost the idea that family loyalty means anything if it only flows one direction. 2 weeks later, we had a meeting with our wedding planner, and I sat there choosing napkin colors while my brain kept flashing to Jade's messages. She doesn't deserve him. Ido. The absurdity of it made me feel dizzy. Like, how can you go from that to deciding between ivory and white? But life does that. It forces you to keep going while you're still bleeding internally. Ethan didn't just block Jade. He changed. Not in a bad way. In a protective way. He stopped being polite about my family's jokes. He started saying things like, "That's not funny," when someone teased me. He asked me what I wanted, not what would keep everyone else comfortable. He started locking the door automatically at night. He installed a camera at our front door. Not because he was paranoid, but because he'd seen how quickly someone who feels entitled can escalate. One night, I said to him quietly, "Are you okay?" Because I'd watch him carry the weight of this with me, and I worried he was quietly angry in a way that would erupt later. He squeezed my hand and said, "I'm okay. I'm just clear now." He looked at me, eyes steady. "She wanted me to doubt you. Instead, she showed me exactly who she is. And I'm not letting that into our life." Sometimes I still wake up with that old panic feeling, like my body remembers the sound of Jade's voice accusing me. Sometimes I catch myself checking Ethan's face for micro changes like I'm afraid trust is fragile glass. Then he'll do something small, make tea without asking, tuck my hair behind my ear, send me a meme he knows will make me snort laugh. And I remember, trust isn't the absence of conflict. It's what someone does when conflict arrives uninvited. My parents are still dealing with Jade. There's therapy involved now, apparently. There are long conversations. There are tears. There's a lot of, "I don't know what happened to her." They've apologized to me more in the last month than they did in the last decade, which is both validating and sad, because it took something this explosive to make them look at the pattern. Jade is still blocked. Completely. Ethan doesn't talk about her. He doesn't gloat. He doesn't call her names. He just treats her like what she proved herself to be, a threat to our peace. And I'm trying to let that be enough. Not a dramatic family showdown. Not a satisfying movie ending where Jade learns a lesson and changes overnight. Just this quiet, firm boundary where I stop offering myself up as collateral for someone else's jealousy. Sometimes I still feel guilty. Then I remember that the night she tried to destroy my relationship, she didn't hesitate. She didn't worry about consequences. She didn't care what it would do to me. She cared about winning. And if that's the game she wants to play, she can play it alone. Because the one person she thought she could manipulate looked at her texts, saw the truth, and shut the door without slamming it. Which, somehow, feels like the most powerful ending of all.